time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure, so let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Cabela's,
Antler Action,
Spot Shooter Archery,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
Badass Slingshots,
and Mossy Oak.
I shoot PSE because I like one pin to 40 yards.
I shoot PSE for the perfect combination of feel and performance.
I shoot PSE because you can shoot lighter poundage and increase arrow speed.
I shoot PSE for the fastest bows on the planet.
I shoot PSE because my livelihood depends on my bow.
I shoot PSE because better engineering makes a better bow.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE. I shoot PSE.
Experience PSE. Experience performance.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back to another Minicast here at the Up North Journal. This week, I've had the opportunity to do two Minicasts, and as luck would have it, or fate would have it, Dan Defoe took off on vacation. You know what? Left me high and dry, so you know what? I'm going to show him that we can still do this without him being in the studio. What did I do? I got a hold of Jay Scott from Big Buck Registry. Jay, are you with me?
I am in here and with you as we speak.
That's awesome, man. You know what? I appreciate we did a little work back and forth here, so you're going to help me out here with this. And we've been talking about fishing for 2 weeks now.
Yep.
I was recently up at my camp, deer camp, and I'm thinking about deer hunting, even though it's July, our first of July, first week of July. But I got to thinking, I was like, I wonder what other people are doing getting ready for hunting season. Now, you're over in New Hampshire, so you hunt deer totally different than what we do, from what I've heard.
Right.
What are you thinking about this time of year looking towards deer season?
Well, it's kind of interesting, Mike. There are a few things that we think about in New Hampshire in July. 4th of July, of course, swimming in the swimming pool, and mostly ocean fishing. As you may or may not know, I mean, you have the Great Lakes where you are. We have the Atlantic.
Okay.
So it's an hour drive from my house. We have a great setup with my buddy's entry-level yacht, and it's a great tuna fishing boat. Plus, we have a smaller boat, and we like to do some striped bass fishing.
Very nice.
In and out of the bays. So when we're not chasing either of those species, we're out catching cod and haddock and pollock. This year, the cod's been cut back quite a bit. So it ends up being that we spend a lot of time fishing.
Okay.
Not a lot of time thinking about deer hunting, except in the fact that the cameras are out.
Okay.
We're monitoring our deer herd. We're kind of reconnecting with some of those spots and thinking about some of those spots where we had hunted last year, and those new spots that we hunted during turkey season that we found that we hadn't really realized were probably pretty good deer spots.
Okay.
And getting some cameras out there and just seeing what pops up. I saw a deer in the middle of the field around noon today. I thought that was interesting because there was also a few black bear hit on the highway approximately at that time of year, that time of day today too. So there was something going on with the animals. They were on the move. And we have a decent amount of black bear around here, and more so than ever. So when you're driving down the highway and you see black bear, now you're kind of thinking in a congruent sense where I'm going to be bear hunting probably first and then deer hunting. So you're trying to figure out where these bears are hanging out the most.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's kind of what we're doing. Thinking about stand sites as well.
Okay.
And just look for new stuff, old stuff, Are the old spots, have they been chewed up by some new condo development or something like that?
Right on.
Do I need to forget about one, or do I need to investigate a new one? And what's going on in some of the new spots we just found, usually during turkey season, as we're more or less hitting the road much more than we normally would during deer season.
You mentioned, an old spot maybe possibly chewed up by a condo association. Are you hunting private land or public land?
A lot of our stuff is public.
Okay.
And let me preface that, though, by saying that the public land in New Hampshire is privately owned.
Okay.
But because of the land use laws in New Hampshire, if it's not posted, it's free game. It's free access.
Okay.
So there's unlike other parts of the country where it's the opposite, where if it doesn't have to be posted. If you don't own it, you can't go on it unless you get permission. In New Hampshire, they have the old laws that say that if it's not posted, you can go on it. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't go get permission on a lot of these properties, but some of them are just large cuts of land that are vast acres that go forever.
Okay.
So you could be on one piece of property that you have permission to go on, butts up against another huge piece of property, and because of our style of hunting, especially if there's snow on the ground, you just keep walking.
Okay.
And you don't stop.
Very nice. Yeah, it's like I say, you guys do things a little differently out there, the way your hunting style is, and now I know even the laws.
Right. So. Yeah, it's a much different style, and it kind of blows people away when they come here who aren't used to that. Like when Dusty came to New Hampshire, he didn't quite understand that. But he realized that even though we don't have the deer population that Michigan has or that Ohio has, because of that particular aspect of the law, it gives you some very free rein. So if you are used to walking a lot, it's your heyday. It's one of the best experiences you'll ever have when you can track a buck for 12 miles and then finally get your shot.
Yeah, you put your boots on, so to speak.
Put your boots on.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So when I say we're in tree stands, that's kind of when there's no snow on the ground, because if there are snow, you're hitting the tracking style of hunting, and you're getting on a hoof that meets your criteria, and you're just following it until you actually get your shot.
Very nice. Yeah, that's different. We don't have quite those opportunities up here. I guess we would on state land,
right.
State-owned land. We could do that. There's some big tracts. But what we're hunting, I've got 640 acres where we're at, so it's mostly a stand setup type deal. So we don't have that opportunity at our place. But yeah,
I was looking at my new stands that I have in the garage. They're all ladder stands, getting ready to be put up. I'm going to get them out of the box here and get them soaking in the woods just to get the smell off them, get them kind of used to the outdoors. And then we'll go find some spots where I think they should hang out.
I got you. Well, you brought something up here. I'm gonna pick your brain just real quick on that.
Sure.
Why ladder stands and not hang-ons? I mean, I've got my reason why, but what's your reason why?
I like the ladder stands for mostly safety reasons. And because of the land access around New Hampshire, you can get in some pretty deep woods and go to places where people never even know you're there.
Right on.
And you can take the time ahead, in advance to bring these heavier pieces of equipment in. And I just like the feel of it. I'm a bigger guy, and I like being able to sit securely on a ladder stand.
And not worry about taking that fall.
Yeah, not worry about the band snapping on my old API or something like that.
Right, I got you.
And not that it would, because there's certainly places where I would want to go in with a climber.
Yeah.
Or a lock-on is not bad either.
Yeah.
In certain situations, but typically around my neck of the woods, I can take the time to locate a place. Sometimes it's not those hang-ons are great if you find a new location, and you got to have a stand there, and that's all you got.
Right on. Well,
that works.
Yeah, the older you get, the more secure you want to feel, and that's kind of my philosophy. That's why I went to ladder stands. I think I may have hung my last hang-on stand. Climber, maybe. I don't know if the situation's right, but definitely a ladder stand for me as well. So
yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you guys are having some success over there on the water. That's always good to get out. We've done some of that ourselves here, but you can never start thinking about deer season too soon.
I agree.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this minicast.
Thanks, Mike.
This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Cabela's,
Antler Action,
Spot Shooter Archery,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
badass slingshots,
and mossy oak.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.